My name is Chelsea Hurst, and I am the Instructional Technology Supervisor for a school district in rural Alaska. Today, we are going to be talking about communication. So communicating with your students is always important, but even more so now that we've moved to a digital environment. So I'm just going to share a few tips and ways that you guys can talk to your students using the Google Classroom. There are 3 ways in total, and I will say that I saved the best for last. So here we go. You can communicate with your students on the Google Classroom through email. Now, just a disclaimer that if you don't see this on your Google Classroom, it may be because it's disabled by your district. Some districts do not allow students to use Gmail accounts, and if that is the case, this will not work for you. But if Gmail is enabled for your students, you will go to People, and you will click on these 3 dots and hit Email Student. This will take you to Gmail, where their email address will populate, and you'll be able to send the message, and then they will receive that in their Gmail inbox. If you want to message more than one student, if I had more than one student in here, I would click on the name. So let's say I want to email everybody, then click Actions and Email Students if I want to send a mass email. Now, for me personally, I don't love emailing students. I love receiving emails, but I want all of my students to receive communication from me on the Google Classroom itself. Since I love receiving emails, I am not the best at remembering to check my Google Classroom, but I want all of my students to only talk to me there. So I'm going to go to my settings. I'm going to click this button and hit the gear for settings. And then I'm going to go to notifications. Sometimes email notifications can be overwhelming, but since I really want to push students messaging me on the Google Classroom, and I want to make sure I'm seeing what they send, and I always check my email, I'm going to say receive email notifications. Now, there are tons of things you can receive notifications for. Please note that I have all of these things disabled except for the top 3. If a student comments on my post, mentions me in a comment, or private comments me on work, I will receive that. That way, I'm enforcing communication on the Google Classroom for my students itself. But if I'm forgetting to check it or having a hard time keeping up with the things that I have checked, haven't checked, I can receive an email notification to my personal inbox when they have done that, so I know to go onto the Google Classroom and check for that specifically. So if email didn't strike your fancy like it didn't strike mine, you can also use private comments. Now, just a disclaimer that I toggle between student and teacher view during this portion of the video. That is not an easy option for you to click on using the Google Classroom. So if you would like some help with how I do that, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll explain that to you. So private comments, here we go. So this is student view, and students have the option within assignments to leave you private comments that you can get and respond back to about work, whatever that may be. And then you, as a teacher, let's switch to my teacher view, have the option to leave private comments as well. So if I go to classwork and if I go to my assignment, I can go to the specific student and their work, click on their work, and then I have the ability to leave private comments as well. Hello, student. And then post those private comments for them. If I notice that I'm just leaving generic comments for students on their assignments across the board, I can go to this button right here, which is the comment bank, and add a comment that I use for all students. So maybe I just want to say, great job so far. Or if there's specific feedback that you find yourself using a lot, you can add it to the comment bank and then click to copy that onto your assignment, your comments for your students. In addition to written private comments, there are totally several Chrome extensions out there that you can download where you can leave voice comments on student assignments as well in the place of those written private comments. So that's something to consider too. So there's one more feature on the Google Classroom that you can use to communicate with students that I'm going to share, and this one happens to be my favorite, and that is the stream. I think it's my favorite because it most closely resembles social media, and I love social media, but let's go ahead and talk about it. Announcements can be made in the stream, so you can see as soon as you open up your Google Classroom, it says share something with your class. So you can say hello. Woo, very excited with my hello today. Hello students. Insert your message, whatever it may be, and then you can hit post. But something that I love is sometimes I don't want to address my whole class. Sometimes I want to address a small group of students or maybe an individual student. So in order to do that, I can click on this button and say all students and click on the students that I want to receive it and uncheck the students I don't want to receive it. I love using this the most because once it generates and you post it, it has this class comment section, which makes it look like you are posting on a Facebook feed. So it's really easy to keep up with. So I love using this and using that checkbox feature to really target those students that I want to communicate straight on the stream. All right, so in this video, we talked about communicating through email, through private comments, and through the stream. If you are using the Google Classroom to communicate with your students in any other way, please comment below and share, subscribe, like this video, and thank you for tuning in.